Good morning, everyone. I'm at a local park in Seoul. It's called Borame Park. Borame Park. This morning, I want to talk about 2 Timothy chapter 3:16. In the 1840s, a Hungarian doctor named Ignaz Semmelweis noticed something the rest of the medical world refused to see. Women giving birth in the hospitals are dying at far higher rates than women delivered by midwives. And the reason was very simple, at least simple to us. The doctors are going straight from performing autopsies to delivering babies without cleaning their hands. He brought his findings to his fellow doctors, and they completely dismissed him. He was contradicting the majority, and the majority did not appreciate it. He was eventually removed from his position, committed to a mental institution, and eventually died at age 47. The doctors kept doing what they had always done: autopsies, then deliveries, unwashed hands, and the women kept dying. And in relation to God, I want to say this: a God who only agrees with you is a colleague who nods along. What you actually need is Semmelweis, someone willing to say the thing the majority does not want to hear. Most of us have built a version of God who agrees with us most of the time. Of course, not fully all the time. But the God we carry around in our heads tends to stand on our side of the arguments that are important to us. Have you noticed? God, He is troubled by the same things that trouble us. He shares our convictions, especially the ones we are most attached to. He is understanding about the things we struggle with and firmer about the failures of people we do not particularly like. And this God is very easy to live with. And He is also completely useless to you. Think about what you actually need from someone who loves you: a real friend, a real doctor, a real parent. Anyone who genuinely cares about you will at some point say something that will make you feel uncomfortable, something you would rather not hear, rather not know, something that may contradict you. Now, that's not unkindness. That is what love actually looks. Imagine a doctor who withholds cancer from a patient because he's afraid of hurting the patient's feeling. Completely useless doctor. The Bible tells us all scripture is inspired by God and is useful to teach us what is true and to make us realize what is wrong in our lives. It corrects us when we are wrong and teaches us to do what is right. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. Notice what that list includes: useful to teach what is true, also useful to make you realize what is wrong in your life, corrects you when you are wrong. This is not a God handing out warm feelings, afraid to hurt your feelings. This is a God with something to say, and some of it you may not like. And He'll say it because He loves you. He wants to heal you, not just cajole you. But notice what that makes Him. That makes Him real God. Only a real God can push back. Only a real God is actually present in our lives, can say no to you. Your reflection cannot do it. A God assembled by your own preferences cannot do it either. The moment He contradicts you, you can just edit Him back into agreement. A God who speaks through a word you did not write and cannot rewrite is a God who is actually there and capable of telling you something you have not thought of yet. Now that is uncomfortable, but it is the only version of God who can actually help you. Because when the bottom drops out, when the thing you were counting on falls away, when you need someone who knows more than you do, a God who only ever agrees with you has nothing to offer. He is just your own fear dressed up in religious clothes. Some of you have been reading Bible selectively, returning to the same passages that comfort you, skipping the ones that convict you, lingering over grace and moving quickly past the parts that name specific things in your life. That may be your sin, how you interact with people, how you treat your spouse. See, that's not Bible reading. That is using the Bible as a mirror that only shows you what you want to see. And some of you have walked away from the Bible entirely because it said something you could not accept. Maybe a teaching on sexuality, on money, on homosexuality, on forgiveness, on who Jesus claims to be. It contradicted you, and the contradiction felt like an attack. So you closed the Bible and never went back. You see, both of those responses make sense, but both of them leave you with a God who is the size of your own understanding. And that God, my friends, is too small. That is not the God of the Bible. That is an idol we've created. You need God, not a God you made up. The God who contradicts you is the same God who surprised everyone. He looked at a world in ruin and said, I have a plan you would not have thought of. And that plan was to send his son, which nobody expected. Nobody expected him to die on a cross, which nobody wanted, and walked out of a tomb, which nobody thought was possible. He disagreed with every human assumption about how salvation was supposed to work. The Messiah was supposed to come in power and drive out the Romans. He came in weakness and drove out sin. The cross was supposed to be the end, and it was the beginning. Death was supposed to be the final word. He made it the second to the last one. The Bible that corrects you is written by the same God who went those lengths for you. He's not contradicting you to diminish you. He's contradicting you because he sees what you cannot see yet, and he loves you too much to leave you where you are. You see, Semmelweis was right. The majority was wrong. The doctors who dismissed him kept killing the people they were trying to save. A God who only agrees with you will do the same. The God who can disagree with you is the God who is actually there, actually speaking, and actually able to say something that will transform you and change you completely. That is the only kind of God worth worshiping and following. And it turns out that's the only kind of God there is in this world. May you walk with him and talk with him and allow him to speak to you through his word today. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.